Alright, hey guys, I'm Alex from technoclass.com, and today we're checking out this guy, the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. Now, this is a very interesting phone because it has one of the largest batteries available in any sort of a dual core or quad core device. This is a quad core one. CloudFone released another large battery phone before, but it was dual core. I believe that was the 430X or something like that. But now we are checking out the one of the largest batteries available for quad core. This is 4,500 milliamp hours. That's almost more than 2 times or more than 3 times the battery of regular devices. Also, this is packing a 5.3-inch IPS display at QHD resolution, so it's not HD. This is priced at $9,999. So this is one of the best devices you can get for something with an extremely large battery or an extremely long battery life. But yeah, we are going to review it right now. Stay tuned. Alright, so like I said, this is one of the largest batteries available in any quad-core device, 4,500 milliamp hours. Also, this is a pretty decent quad-core device, as you will see right now. This is, as you can see, this is the device right here. The battery is already inside. I'm actually gonna open this guy up. Alright guys, so as you can see right here, this is the battery. This is 4,500 milliamp hours. By the way, this battery is not removable. As you can see, if you can, I guess you can't see it, but there are some wires over there. It does not connect. It does not disconnect, so that is fixed in there. I believe it's for the purposes of, so you cannot, it can be thinner if the battery is already mounted in there. It's a dual SIM phone, as you can see right here. Both are 3G, and there's a micro SD card slot over there, and I already have my micro SD in there. So let's boot this guy up and look at the other parts of the box, because there's more than just the regular stuff in there. And there we go. Let's power it on, and let's put this guy over here while we check out the other parts of the box. Looks like a obviously a standard, I guess that's what you could call a standard USB adapter for your wall. A micro USB cable for charging and data transfer. And look at that. This looks like a headset with microphone. I don't know if there's a button. I'm gonna look for it. Yeah, there's a button. I can hear a clicky thing. So one-piece headset with a microphone right there. And look at this. There's a little bonus here. This is actually a USB OTG cable, because the phone itself can do OTG, which is really nice, because phones usually do not have this feature, the OTG feature, but because the CloudFone has a large battery, I believe it can manage to power USB devices, USB sticks, USB hard drives, and stuff like that. Looks like a warranty card right here, and a user's manual. This user manual is in color. Hey. About 30 pages and in color with pictures and stuff like that. So that's it for the parts of the box. Let's look at the device right now. Alright guys, so here we are. This is the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. It looks like actually a pretty standard looking device right here. IPS display here, 5.3-inch screen. Not too big, not too small, pretty decent size. More of a phablet dimensions, but not the biggest phablet out there. This is the obviously the IPS QHD display, so that's 960, 540, not HD, but still pretty good. Let's turn that off and look at the parts right here. Up top we have the speaker grill right there. There's a how many megapixel camera is this? 5 megapixel front camera. That's pretty good. I believe this is where the notification LED is, and also the ambient light sensors, and probably the proximity sensor. Nice design right here. I like the that they are in on either side. A little bit of symmetry right there. Over on the bottom here, there are some interesting buttons here. They're not similar to the home, back, and search buttons. As you can see, the back button is sort of a 3-dot triangle. The home button is a 4-dot square, and the menu button is a 3-dot line, which is interesting. Never seen that before. But yeah, it makes the phone a little more interesting than usual. The buttons are like ET, like an alien spaceship, I don't know. And it looks like the pinhole microphone is right over there. Nice design in front, a little very simplistic but unique, I would say. Moving on to the left side, as you can see, this is you will see a little bit of the thickness right here. It's not too thick, it's just a little thicker than usual, maybe, I don't know, 12 millimeters or something. Left side has nothing, shiny strip over there. On the bottom looks like there is nothing as well. And on the right side, that should be where most of the stuff is. Well, just the volume rocker. Let's get that to focus. Volume rocker on the right side, and on top we have all the ports here. The 3.5 millimeter headset jack. Maybe we can get that to focus. I don't know, maybe not. 3.5 millimeter headset jack, micro USB port for charging and data transfer. There we go. And a power and unlock key, obviously. So that's it for the sides. Looking at the back here, we have a speaker grill, CloudFone logo over there, nothing in the middle area right there, and this is the camera module right there. This has a 12 megapixel camera, pretty nice, and 2 LED flashes. I don't know what that pin right there, maybe a noise cancellation microphone. It is interesting. The design is interesting. There is no indication that this is the 530QX anywhere. It just says CloudFone. But that is, I guess, a design principle. Really nice, simple design. Not even that big, even despite it having a really large battery. Although one of the things that I noticed here on the back is that this guy looks like a Cyclops. It's like a Cyclops. Because it's in the middle of the device, and the big that looks like the iris over there. That looks like the eye. It looks like a Cyclops. But obviously that's not a big complaint. That just looks kind of interesting. But yeah, that is the parts of the device. Let's move on to the interface now. Alright guys, so here we are checking out the interface of the CloudFone 530QX. And as you can see, it is fairly stock-ish Android. With a little bit of a dual SIM flavor, as you can see on the top right there. Very similar to stock, obviously. This is Android 4.2 point something. Let's go and check really quickly. 4.2.1. So you do get the double finger. That sounds really sleazy. Double finger. The double finger swipe down for your settings, and the single finger swipe down for your notifications. It is fairly stock-ish. There is, I believe, a pop-up player for video, which is a little bit different. I will notice, you will notice though that there is no standard camera app. There is no camera application, but they do have a more unique high camera app, which is, I believe, a paid app in certain areas. So this is a high camera app. I don't know why they call it high camera. There's a lot of features here. As you can see, you can scroll around. It does have a pretty nice tutorial to tell you how to use all these. There's a beauty mode that will soften images, soften faces and stuff like that, give you a more makeup feel. But it is really nice. There is a lot of features in this camera app. Surprisingly, because there is no default camera. This is the default camera. Even gives you a sort of a, sorry about that, gives you a sort of a level sensor, tells you if you are holding the camera level. Really nice camera right here, and the actual camera shots are very good, above average actually. I will show you that at the end of the video, as well as the video recording. But yeah, the camera is really nice. Let us move on now. Speaking of some of the specs, we have a 1 GB of RAM, 4 GB of ROM, and of course the micro SD card slot. It's powered by a MediaTek 6589 1.2 GHz quad-core processor, so it handles most games pretty well, and I will show you some of the games right here. As you can see, Temple Run and Asphalt 8. I did mention that it supports USB OTG cables, so you can plug in your USB sticks and hard drives and stuff like that, which is also nice. Also, you can charge other devices using the included cable, which is really nice. sort of using the phone as a battery pack. But that, yeah, that's a minor thing, just a little bit of a quirk. So yeah, let's check it out with some games after we check out some of the benchmarks. All right, guys. So here we have a screenshot of the benchmark from Antutu, from Quadrant. This is 4,010 points. Pretty decent. Pretty, I guess, normal for a MediaTek 6589 processor. Here we have a 3D Mark. This 3D Mark benchmark 2751, and of course the your favorite Antutu. It's got 13,469. That is pretty normal for a MediaTek quad-core processor. It handles it fine. And if you're worried about the QHD display, it actually looks fairly good. Even despite the 5.3 inch screen, it does. There we go. We have a notification. It looks pretty good despite the not HD resolution. It's still fairly usable. No problem there. So yeah, let's try some games now. All right, guys. Bog standard Temple Run 2 test. Here we go. So it should handle Temple Run 2 fairly well, and there is no problems there. Look at that tilting, awesome tiltingness. I don't know. So yeah, it works on Temple Run 2, no problems at all. Let us move on to Asphalt 8. And there is actually a reason why we will only test it on 2 games for now, because I will tell you. And let's do that after Asphalt 8. Let's go. Alright guys, so here we are playing Asphalt 8. One of the most demanding games in this generation, I guess, currently. This surpasses a lot of the other 3D games out there. And as you can see, the quad-core MediaTek is skipping a little bit here, but that is to be expected. This is really, this game is really meant for some hardcore quad-core devices, but it's still playable. And if you're not a picky gamer, this is pretty playable to actually. So, like, I mean, I would still play this game. Even though the frame rate is not 100% fixed, I guess. As you can see, there's a nice knockdown right there. But this is still playable, and I'm still enjoying myself. So it should handle a lot of the other 3D games fine. It's just that this test we're doing right now is pretty demanding. Let me do a whee! Oh, I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to do a flat spin. But yeah, this is Asphalt 8, and it handles it fine. It should handle a lot of the other not so demanding 3D games, no problem. Maybe even it should, since it's MediaTek 6589. We've tested the 6589 pretty much on like Batman and stuff like that. Anyway, that's it for the gaming stuff. The reason why we could only test it on 2 games is, I will tell you that after I cut out of this video, because it's gonna interrupt me while I'm talking. But yeah, so the reason why I was able to test it on 2 games, because there is a limitation with the OS. I don't know why. That you can only install apps onto the the internal memory. As you can see right here, it only has 1.8 gigabytes out of the 4 gig ROM it has. And you are not able to install it onto the micro SD card slot. And I do have a 16 gig micro SD installed, but I could not install apps onto it like Gameloft games and stuff. So I was only able to install Asphalt 8 because that's the only app that could fit the 1.8 gigabyte internal memory. That's internal memory, not external memory. Alright guys, so just so we can prove that there is no option to install to the external SD card, you can go to the settings right here, storage settings, and you can pick phone storage or SD card, but you can't actually, it doesn't actually go to the external storage, which I have here, 14 gigabytes. It only installs to this internal phone storage right here, which is 1.8 gigabytes. And as you can see, if you go to the information settings right here, there is only information about the 1.8 gig internal storage. If you go to the apps right here, phone storage, and as you can see, we just installed Minion Rush, and it tells you where it's installed. It's installed to the phone storage with only 295 megabytes free. There is no option to put it into the external SD card, which is a big bummer with this phone, especially if you're gonna play games with it. I guess it could be addressed with a software update. There's no problem there. Firmware update should be able to fix it. But at this current time, that is a big bummer with this phone. It still has a pretty big battery though. So that, I mean, if you don't play a lot of Game Loft games are the biggest ones that use your SD card, then you should be fine. Temple Run and Angry Birds, it's not a big memory hog, SD card hog anyway. So yeah, that's about it. That's just one big negative with this guy. Alright guys, so forgetting about that internal storage issue, the battery life on this guy is obviously the most amazing selling factor. And despite that it's not so big in the hands, I mean, you do get one less extra fold on your fingers when you hold it, and it is a little bit thicker than usual and a little bit heavier. But the battery life on this guy is the best ever battery life I've ever seen on any Android phone, bar none. I mean, there are other Android phones that have that I don't think this is the record holder in terms of battery size, but the other ones that have larger batteries are not available in the Philippines, and definitely not under 10,000 pesos. But if you're looking for something really big with the battery life, this guy lasts more than a week in standby mode when I have my Wi-Fi on, and this lasts more than 3 days or 2 days if you're on 3G. If you're a heavy user, you'll probably get 2.5 days with it. But that is huge. That is a major thing with this phone. You don't need to have, you don't need to charge your phone all the time, every day. And if you're a guy who spends his weekend elsewhere, maybe have a vacation on the weekend, you don't have to bring your charger. You don't have to. This is a big thing. This is for people who want their freedom from power cables and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a really nice thing. The 4500 milliamp hour battery is a major thing. Alright guys, so that about wraps it up for the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. It's a really nice large screen large battery phone that doesn't actually look super thick and super bulky. A little bit of a bummer with the memory thing, but that only affects big gamers, I guess. So the pros and cons, there is absolutely no battery problems with this guy. If you can manage to make this phone low battery, I commend you. This guy just lasts forever. And if you are somebody who runs out of battery really quickly and have to have that battery critically at that point, then you have to have something like this with a large battery. So there is a unique I mean, the phone is designed uniquely. As you can see, the capacitive buttons are different. The top area right here is different, a little bit symmetrical, and the back is sort of simplistic in design. I mean, minimalistic, I guess. The weird part is the Cyclops camera, but the camera quality is pretty good. So there's also a notification LED to bonus as a bonus. Great camera quality, dual LED flash for night photography. Performance is on par with other quad-core devices out there. MediaTek, of course. Large IPS screen is nice. As you can see, it's not super pixelated despite the QHD resolution. And the USB OTG capability and can charge other devices is really nice. I mean, this guy has more battery than my Nexus tablet. So I can actually charge my Nexus tablet with it. That is a nice addition. The cons right here, of course, it's slightly pricier than the competition at $9,999. There are cheaper 5.3-inch QHD IPS display devices out there and quad-core, but doesn't have the large battery. So this is probably the best thing that the CloudFone has, is the large battery. Slightly thicker and heavier than the competition, but that's because of the battery as well. So we cannot hate it too much because of that. And it's not too big and unwieldy despite the large battery, which is really nice. Of course, the absolutely most biggest con about this phone here is the app install location, which we've mentioned before. It is definitely one of the biggest things, especially if you're a big Android gamer. Obviously, it's not going to affect everybody, and sometimes you will still get this phone because of the large, the extremely unbeatable battery life, and of course you can still play Asphalt 8 or other games if you wanted to, no problem there. So that is it for the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. It's a pretty nice large battery device. Will last you a long time with the 100% battery. Actually, if you want to charge this guy even with the a strong wall charger, it will charge from 0% to about to 100% in maybe 10 plus hours, which is quite a long time. But of course, you do not need to charge this guy off 10 anyway. But yeah, that is the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. We're gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 stars, particularly because of the app install location. I'd happily give it 4 stars if there was no problem there. But yeah, this is the CloudFone Thrill 530QX. I'm Alex from thetechnoclass.com. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and as always, if you liked the video, please press the like button below. Add it to your favorites and or share it to your friends. If you got something to say, drop a comment in the comment box as well. Of course, more importantly, you should hit the subscribe button on top. This will keep you up to date with our new uploads and helps us out tremendously too. That's it guys, see you next video.
Guys, don't forget to watch the Big Time Show.